We're back now at Acrisure Stadium on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. Our halftime festivities behind us as we're just about set for the opening kick of the second half. Way in this second half. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Now the Jets going to take over on offense to begin this third quarter. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. A good pickup there on first as the screen pass gets him 8. Ball on the 36 now. Here's second and a couple. Purdy now to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Joey Porter Jr.
Well, I think everyone who's watching was certainly hoping to see things get a little bit better for them in this half, weren't we? But it was a downright miserable first half that's carried over with an interception to begin the second half. That's a defeated offense right there, and there's still a lot of game left. I don't think that's the last turnover we're going to see today, partner.
The Steelers offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he's been a real threat, not just with the arm, but with the wheels as well. NFL's leader amongst quarterbacks in terms of rushing touchdowns. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they can't bring him down. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 76 yards rushing for him now as his fine rookie season continues. He showed his shiftiness and his explosion to take him all the way down near the goal line.
Love that description, and it creates momentum. Maybe you hand it to him again since he's got it going, or do you fake it to him and throw it to a teammate? Right now, the options are wide open.
They'll run with Pollard. Pushing and fighting his way in for a Steeler touchdown. Tony Pollard, his 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Steelers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. A familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now.
Sideline, because let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
Extra point put through by Boswell, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. And New York set to take the field. It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive, they had the issue in the first half as well. And that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't want to admit it to themselves. But we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Handoff, running left. Here's Hall. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And this is dropped. Oh, my goodness, there was no one around him, but he took his eye off it, and it falls incomplete.
And this is a situation where, as a head coach, you're just saying, what else could go wrong? Let's get it all out of our system, please. This has been a sloppy game throughout. The execution has been lacking. A lot of mistakes, both mental and physical. And here's a big play that goes by the wayside.
The Steelers' offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And this defense has got to be at its wits' end, trying to come up with ways to keep him contained. He's had so many opportunities to tuck it and go, and he's turned a number of those opportunities into big plays. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Back to throw. Gonzalez. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th. So 2 sacks for the rookie, definitely making an impact here in year 1.
And in a ton of different ways, because rushing the passer, that was supposed to be a skill that he was developing. Looks to me like he's figured it out already.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. Yeah, call it 30. Over 1st and 10. Now Hall to start the drive. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description, because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
On 3rd down, here's Hall. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on for the 5th time here today. Here's Austin. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So here are the Steelers to take over on offense. They're on the good side of this game right now with a lead, but they were on the bad side last week in that loss to Cincinnati, so now trying to make amends. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Up past the 30, 2nd down coming up.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
From the 31, here's 2nd and 6. Operating from the gun, Gonzalez. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st. From the gun on 3rd down, Gonzalez. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a 1st down.
No surprise to see him running again here. It's something he's done throughout this season. And that run puts him over 500 yards on the ground for the year. He's got to be thinking to himself, if I'm already at 500, what's to stop me from going for 1,000?
Inside 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Now a play fake here on first down. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
And this is a rarity in the NFL, a 100-yard game on the ground for a quarterback. Even as those passers get more athletic and mobile, we only see about 5 of these a season. Takes a special set of circumstances for it to happen, and of course, a special player.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 93 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's second down. So, Charles, I mean, this is just becoming an exhibition now on how to rush the passer.
Yeah, and I can't help but laugh a little bit because I'm enjoying what we're watching. This is coming from a guy who was in college just a year ago, and we keep harping on their evaluation. They saw not just a guy who could rush the passer, but could rush the passer well, and that's why they took him as high as they did.
Got to imagine the rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Under pressure, they got him again. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today, but on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Looking to throw. Gonzalez. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. A big pickup, 18 yards, but they still stop him well short of the marker. Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. Boswell's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So tack on 3 more, though it's just a rare drive where they did not find the end zone.
Yeah, you're right about that, partner. But at this point, I don't think you're too concerned about that. You just want to possess the football for a while and drain the clock. If you can get 3 out of it, that's great too.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And now out come the Jets. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
He's had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. And throwing here, Purdy. They'll set up the screen for Hall. And he slips up past the 45 before being That's good for a Jet first down, a gain of 13.
Well, they've certainly had their share of troubles running the football in this one, but this play is almost an extension of the running game right here. They set up the screen, let him work out in space on the perimeter, and he turns it into a big pickup.
This pass complete. He finds Jeremy Ruckert. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. And this is a blowout so far as we... For the fourth quarter, a very one-sided affair. Second down and a yard.
Ready? Bring it. Smash. Hey,
Here's Purdy. This pass out wide to Hall. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first. Now, fourth quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think...
And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Keanu Benton, the one who got in to bury him.
Well, it's obvious, but I can't help but say it here. It's never a good day when the opposing defense has more sacks than you have points. The win seems likely, but this defense is still playing for something here. They see that 0 on the scoreboard, and they don't want that to change.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Out of the gun, Purdy. Finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 18. Up there of 20 yards.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. In his tracks by Keanu Benton.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Ball again on second down. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. A third down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. And the tackle made at the 13. He is well short of the first. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down. Now the Jets will call on the field goal unit here. This will be spotted at the 20, so it's a 30-yard attempt. And his kick here is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg. And they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they are powering through, and they're controlling this game.
Flushed out right. Past the 20. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Give him a little extra credit there. His head was cool as the play broke down. Didn't force a throw, and in the end, got to show off his athleticism with a nice gain to bring up a new set of downs.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Now they'll run it on the toss. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Only able to gain a couple there, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Gonzalez now from the gun on 3rd down. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A 12-yard touchdown run. And the Steelers look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all three phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. New York set to take the field. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. Back to throw, Purdy. The way this one's gone.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
A short throw to Conklin, the tight end. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move.
And a steal of pressure, too much here. He's going to go down. T.J. Watt in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Here's J.K. Scott now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. I'm just wondering, do they want to add on to this gigantic lead? My guess, given how they like to play and how explosive this offense is, Charles, that they're not content being up by this margin. They probably want more.
And if they do go and get more, oh, look out. At that point, let's just aim the camera for the post-game handshake because that one might be a little bit on the tense side, the way that this one is turning out.
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 110 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. From the 43, here's 2nd down and 1. Out of the gun, a give to Pollard. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1, if people want to run the football, this is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
They go play action here on 1st down. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Hassan Reddick in there with pressure yet again. That is the 7th time that they have dropped him here this afternoon.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off. He finds his man, Pollard. He's to the 15. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. As that lead just swells and swells. Look, this has been dominance in all 3 phases. Offense, defense, and special teams.
So don't we have to give a lot of credit, not just to what we've seen today, but the preparation in advance, coaching staff, commitment by the players to the game plan, and being ready to go in this one, you're exactly right. Clean sweep. And, boy, they're going to celebrate this one after it's over.
And on the other side, this is the game film you just flush and never go back and review. Boswell good with the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here's the Jet offense now. They head out to take over. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a fourth straight loss. Purdy will set up to throw it here. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Patrick Queen got in there to stick him. He gets the sack. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. Now Purdy. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? That's what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. Now Austin. Pittsburgh offense making their way back out. CD, I mean, they have just been scoring at will. It's been score after score after score, and a lot of times we use the term blowout for a lopsided ball game. And this has kind of gone past that. I think we're in historic territory right now.
You nailed it. Historic territory. Perfect phrase for what we are watching. If this were a movie, what kind of rating would we put on it? Who would you allow to watch what we're watching right now? Let's hope this one gets over fast, because this game, well decided a long time ago.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5.
Set, go.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. Tershawn Wharton never giving up. He works his way to the QB for a loss of 12.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Back to throw. Gonzalez. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he'll be brought down at the 34, well short of the 1st down marker. A solid run of 11 there as he tucked and ran, but he's still short of the marker at its 4th. Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. The call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. Now the Jets offense gets ready to head back on the field. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. We said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Looks like they're going to keep throwing to the bitter end. This one's long since over, but give them credit. They're going to go down fighting. That one, incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Purdy. And that's going to be incomplete.
Well, these guys are not going to go out with their tails between their legs. They're going to keep taking their shots until the clock's at 000. But that one, like a lot of others, winds up incomplete.
On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. Fielded at about the 28. And powering through at the 35. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. And they take a knee. Well, fans usually love to see contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago. And you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense. And they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed popcorn for everyone in their film session.
So for the Steelers, it's an important win in terms of staying in the postseason race as they move to 6-4. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Jets, the turnaround hasn't materialized as they fall to 2-7. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next